What's going on, everybody? My name is Mr. Leong, and welcome back to another episode of the Startup Starter Kit. Thanks for tuning in to all of the episodes. If you're new here, I do videos on business basics and fundamentals, and this is a part of a playlist where I'm trying to give you the tools and the resources so that when you start your own business for the first time, you're aware of the finances, the marketing, strategy, and even competitive advantage. So in this human resources playlist, it's all about how to really utilize your employees, hire the right employees, and ensure that everybody is working very productively. This episode is all about employee morale. And personally, when it comes to my sort of theories and beliefs on business, I believe that happy employees lead to happy customers. When your employees are motivated, engaged, and they feel an attachment to the business, they feel that there's purpose in their work, that just results in so many positive externalities. And in this video, we're going to uncover some things that you can do to really promote and improve employee morale in your workplace. Let's get started. This is the case for investments in employee morale and programs that are going to promote employee engagement and happiness. So, if you didn't know, employee morale is the attitudes, confidence, and the overall satisfaction of employees at work. And employees that are satisfied and motivated have very high morale. So, if you've played any sort of business game like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you'll realize that for the staff morale, when they're happy and engaged, they do more work. They're more productive. The roller coaster park is cleaner, but when they're not happy, they're lazy, they're disengaged, and all of a sudden there's trash and litter all over your park. And it's up to you as a CEO and leader and entrepreneur to ensure that your employees are working to the best of their abilities. And if they're not, figure out why that is so. So companies with poor morale and employee morale have, people that have a negative opinion about the business. And that's bad. They lose interest, they're not motivated, and they don't feel empowered in their work. And you know what happens with these employees that are not happy with their work? They leave. And that's a big problem. So that's why we want to foster a culture where people are motivated, engaged, and they feel an attachment to the business. So here are a few other reasons why employee morale matters. Happy employees are more productive. They're attached to their work, they have a sense of belonging, and it helps to retain staff. If you're in a business where your employees are always leaving, they stay for 6 weeks or a month or a very short time and they leave, then there's something wrong with the culture. You want to ensure that staff are more productive. Staff can't be productive if they're worried, anxious, or stressed out. So you have to take these things into account. And with the COVID-19 pandemic, that has really brought a lot of uncertainty, stress, and anxiety on your employees. You also want to foster good relationships, communication, so that if your employees have issues, they can come to you without fear or just being nervous of speaking their mind. And it also is better for the bottom line. I'd rather have fewer employees that are more productive and engaged versus a larger workforce where you have some people that are not productive. And what happens with employees that have negative morale and they're not happy with their work, it kind of permeates, right? You have one person that's not very happy, then they tell other people, and then it sort of spreads around. But if you have a cluster of people that are not happy with the work, that's kind of an indicator that something's wrong and you have to go address it. So here are some things that create positive morale. Now, I used to be a manager at a summer camp. I always found that I really wanted to invest and ensure that the employees were motivated, engaged, and they also felt that they wanted to be at the workplace. That makes a huge difference. I used to, have these situations where people would just sit around, like the employees, because they didn't want to get involved with the activities. They were just kind of, there, but not really there, kind of like that presenteeism, where you have employees that are at the workplace, but they're not really engaged. That's problematic. That eats into the bottom line, and that doesn't provide any value for your business. So you want positive, open communication. You want your employees to be able to go to you if there's concerns, and you need to be able to address those concerns as well. If the employees are not listened to and they're not valued, then that's problematic. You want to treat employees with respect and fairness. Employee A, employee B, employee C. If they're the same category, doing the same type of work, they get the same treatment. You also want recognition for a job well done, to provide that sort of reassurance that, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. You want to provide those positive confirmation statements. You want employees to feel like they're worth $1,000,000. And when they feel, pretty good about their work, they're more happy and they get more work done. You can also provide perks and rewards. Now, I know that a lot of you are small business owners and you can't really compete with the large companies. So that might be something that you have to take into account because you can't provide all of these bells and whistles, but you do what you can. You can provide support and coaching. I often find that new employees have to be onboarded. They need to have significant training so that they feel like they're able to do the work. If the training is very short or not done properly, then that poses a lot of issues for the quality of work. Make sure you have clearly defined expectations, goals, and you also want to ensure that employees feel like there's meaning and purpose to their work. So that's why when I was a summer camp manager and you have all of these activities, hey, if the employees want to, pick what activities they want to choose, that's a great idea. If they want to go to the swimming events and they're going to be more productive in those capacities, you should try your best to make those happen. So I'm just trying to think in my mind, how do I ensure that when an employee comes to work, they feel like, they really want to provide a lot of value and they're happy and engaged. So you have to think in terms of like the bigger picture of all of these sort of details. How do we get employee A to be the best that they can, and what sort of things that we can do to ensure that they're productive and happy. So employee morale is not throwing around money, ping pong tables, free coffee. I mean, it helps. Sometimes the employees like it, but what's really more important is the culture. And I did a video on employee culture. You can go take a look, right here and learn more about how you can really establish a company culture. But trust, mutual respect, and a collaborative culture where people are encouraged to be active, meaningful members in a community, that's what's really important about employee morale. Employees want to feel like, they're doing good work, they belong in sort of a community, and they're being listened to. You need to listen to your employees and have those open, honest sort of lines of communication. So that's what's really important about employee morale. We all sort of, want the same thing in terms of, the employee mindset. We want to have a job that has great pay, great benefits, and a really good culture where you're excited to come to work. So these are things that you have to take into account as you begin to hire more people within your small business. Here's an example of a company that has really invested in a good culture and they treat their employees well. Southwest Airlines has exceedingly sort of beat the metrics and beat their competitors in a few areas, such as, profitability. They don't lay off employees. Well, this is a 2018 article, so I don't know about the COVID situation, but they have very low voluntary turnover. They have, sort of the best records in low number of customer complaints. And here's an interesting stat. 85% of employees say they're proud to work for Southwest. And you want to create that culture where, the employees are excited to come to work and they say, hey, I work for Microsoft or I work for Amazon and I'm happy. So morale is very, very important. Google does a lot of crazy things in their campus and workplace. A lot of tech companies do. So initiatives to foster positive employee morale can be very successful, as you see with this metric. Look at this. Passenger satisfaction. Southwest continually beats all of the other airlines, because the airline industry is a very service-based industry. When you're happy, when the employees are happy and engaged, that's translated and they provide a better service to the customers. So I can see a direct correlation between investments in positive employee morale. Now, the challenges with employee morale come because of the COVID-19 pandemic. For many, being isolated in homes, working remotely, can lead to morale problems. How do we encourage our employees to be the best that they can when they're thinking about other things? There's a lot of stress and anxiety, and that sort of builds upon these layers. We don't feel as connected, we're isolated, and it's hard to communicate because you have all of these things that employees are thinking about. So a lot of the aspect of being in meetings and the interaction, that part is significantly affected. And that contributes to morale. You want to be in an environment where you can talk to employees or fellow coworkers, and that's not really present in this sort of working situation. So I have some strategies that might be effective to promote good morale in this situation. Here are some suggestions for COVID-19 in terms of providing a good working environment that stimulates positive employee morale. Promoting initiatives for self-care, support for physical and mental needs, but most importantly, you want to be able to connect with your employees. Check in. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Where are we headed? We want to be on the same page, and employees need mentorship, they need strong leadership, and they need people to be able to connect with them, and they need to be able to connect with others as well. So how do we do that? We use technology, we have the video on, we create space for socializing, and we ensure that we provide opportunities for employees to mingle, but in a environment that's safe, COVID-19 safe. So you can have channels for socialization, you can have virtual games, and to be honest, just a simple thank you note goes a long way, or some show of appreciation. These are things that are going to show to your employees that you care, that their sort of physical and mental needs are important. And this shows that when a company invests in providing a good work environment, that they can sort of build these layers of trust and respect. And this permeates throughout the workplace culture. So I guess in short, some of the things that you need to consider include being open, transparent, and really demonstrate support. You really want to value your employee contributions, make them feel like they're $1,000,000, provide good mentorship, feedback, and just in general, think through the lens of an employee and what they grow to. You are probably an employee at one point before you became a CEO or entrepreneur. So establish a good culture where it's collaborative, people feel like they're valued, and this in turn is going to be really beneficial for your business and the bottom line as well. It just makes good business sense. So I hope that you learned a lot in this video. I would appreciate it if you liked or subscribed to the channel for some more business basics and fundamentals videos. I hope I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later, and bye-bye.